talk about this. So today we're going to have a look at graphing again. When you guys do your fundamentals test, you're going to be asked to graph from one of these tables. So you've got a series of x values, and you guys are going to substitute them into the equation and give you the y values, and they're just a bunch of x, y coordinates, which you guys will then plot on the graph and draw. And we've all had a go at this. And if you haven't sort of mastered this, then today your learning objective is to make sure that you can do this. Okay. Now, what I want to talk about today is sort of more for next year really than this year, but you guys can use these as strategies and you should try implementing them today. The bit that I started to talk about yesterday was that when you have a look at a quadratic equation, it can be presented to you in three different forms, okay? And so by forms, I mean format, okay, not formulas. So if you have a look at that last question there, it's given to you in a fairly unusual format, okay? That's this one here. And that is called the turning point form. You don't see it as frequently, okay? Most of them will be presented to you in either expanded or factorized form. But you can basically move between these three formats if you choose to do so. And they give you different pieces of information. In my humble opinion, the turning point form's probably the less useful of them because there are other strategies for working out what the turning point is. But each of these have got their own merits. So I've tried to sort of put that here for you to copy down in a second. But basically, if you have a look at the turning point form, it's really useful if you want to find what the turning point is. All you do is look at these two values here. And same as null factor, you just reverse the symbol of the one that comes out of the brackets. So that becomes a -4, and it gives you -9. So looking at that coordinate there, that would be where this turns around. So on the graph, you could drop this one straight in. If you had your pen selected, you could drop that one straight in. So that's where this thing's going to turn around and go back up again. And then if we had a look at something like the expanded form, which is the first one, this one's really useful because it tells you where it intercepts the y-axis because it's got a c value in it. It follows that ax squared plus bx plus c. So if that number on the end there is a +7, we know that it will intercept the y-axis at +7, so we can put that one in. And then if we have a look at this in factorized form, this is really handy because if we use null factor method, it tells us where it will intercept the x-axis. Remembering that those values are coming out of brackets, so they get reversed. We've gone through how that works properly in previous lessons, but for the purposes of this, that means that it's going to intercept at -7 and at -1. And so now that I've got these points, I don't need to really fill out that table and find all of those points. What I can do is I can just sketch a curve in based on the points that I've got there, because they've got all of the major points. I've missed that y-intercept there, but don't worry about that. You just try and get it as neat as you can. Make sure that your graph's got some scale and that you've got the x and y axes labelled. And if you've got a particular maths teacher, make sure that you also label the curve as well. But the idea of this is that you guys have a look at the three different formats. So there'll be people who will be ready to start exploring this today, and there'll be people who are still just filling out the table and just putting in the points. Either situation is fine, just so long as everybody's busy today. There's one other thing which I don't feel that I've thoroughly enough covered. If you have a look at a question like this one, if you want to try and find the x-intercepts for this and you're going to use null factor method to do it, you need to factorize this equation. And if you have a look at this, you might notice that the c value for this one isn't there, okay? It's 0. There is no sort of c value there, which is, in short, it means basically that it's going to intercept at 0 because the c value is 0. But to prove this, because you're going to need to show your working next year and this year, when you factorise this one, it looks a bit different. Okay, what we're looking at when we factorise this is x outside of x minus 4. Okay, and so if you're going to use null factor on this, you must make the expression or the equation equal 0 because you're making y 0 to find the x-intercepts. And any time that you've got anything outside, like any x outside of the brackets, that means that by null factor law, one of the x values will be nothing. So that's this one here, okay? And even if this was a 2x or a 3x, whatever, if it's out the front, one of the values is 0 and the other one is positive 4, sorry, because as it comes out, we switch the symbol. How's that? So if you're feeling really confident with filling out the tables, there's another way. You don't have to, you know how down here we talked about the turning point form being good for finding the turning point? There's a way that you can do it without having to change it into turning point. It's a bit of a cheap tactic, but it works really well. It's awesome. By null factor law, I've worked out here that my x-intercepts are 0, which I've already marked here, and positive 4, which I'll mark in here. So they're my two x-intercepts. They're also in this case, it's also my y-intercept because this is where it's passing through. So that satisfies both the x and the y-intercept because it's going through the origin. Now what I need is I need a turning point, okay? It's positive, so I know it's going to be a smiley face. But what I don't know is the point where it turns, and I have to know that, okay? So this is quite important, and it's really important next year as well, okay? So how do I find that without the turning point? One strategy would be to say, okay, I can see that it goes through at 0 and 4, so halfway between those points is 2. So somewhere here, this thing's going to turn around. The question is, how far down it turns, okay? So what I have got so far, if this makes sense, if I say it this way, I've got the x value, so my turning point, you know, will be an xy coordinate somewhere, and what I know is that it's going to turn at 2. What I don't know is the y value. Is this making sense to everybody? The best way to find it is to take your equation in its original form or in its factorised form, whatever floats your boat, and substitute the 2 in for the x, okay? So in other words, if I take the formula, y equals x squared minus 4x, and I know that x is 2, and I'm trying to find what y is when x is 2, all I need to do is just sub in the 2, and then I'll have 4 minus 8, so it will be minus 4, so I can see that it turns at 2 minus 4, and I've got the turning point. And now I can just freehand sketch this without needing to fill out the whole table, okay? So fairly simple. So the cheapest method for finding the turning point without going through trying to convert it to turning point form is to just find halfway between the x-intercepts. Sometimes this is easier than others, okay? Most of the time they'll give you nice integers so that it will be a nice clean number. And then we just sub that x value in to find the y. See how far down it drops or rises before it turns. If you don't catch what I'm saying now, don't worry about that. I wasn't intending to teach you this for at least another week, but while we're here and we're recording ourselves, we might as well do it.